I have to finish the story. If you smile.
Hello everyone. I hope you all slept well after the very early start for Elimination Chamber this past weekend, but I know CM Punk was probably having some broken dreams. Anyways, this week we'll be covering the Elimination Chamber and a little bit of AEW and TNA. So without further ado, let's get ready to rumble. So, starting off the kickoff show for Elimination Chamber, it's kind of a put-in match just to have Indy, have a match in Australia, but it was Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae versus the Kabuki Warriors for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles, which, for what it was, obviously kickoff match, you don't expect much out of it. It was good for what it was, and it was good to see Indy back in her home, but nonetheless, Kabuki Warriors retain. Everything stays the same, just Indy gets her moment in Australia, which was nice to see. Moving on to the Women's Elimination Chamber, and Becky Lynch is going to WrestleMania, whether you like it or whether you don't. She takes down Naomi, Tiffany Stratton. I'm trying to think of who else was in the chamber. I can't get it on my mind right now, but 5 other competitors against Becky Lynch, and she ends up going the distance and winning the chamber, facing Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania, a confirmed match, which we've been expecting for a while because, they even brought Becky Lynch down to NXT just to keep her away from Rhea Ripley. They've been doing a good job of keeping her away from Rhea Ripley for the past, year. So it's going to be a fun match to see. It's going to see how this build-up, breaks down. And it's going to be a very fun build to WrestleMania, as we only have about a month and a half left until WrestleMania, if even, which, very exciting. Moving on, the tag team match between the Judgment Day and British Strong Style, Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. For what it was, I think it was the best match of the night. We had a lot of good matches, but this one went for a while, and Finn Balor, I think, did something to his thumb at the end on the coup de grace. I think he broke his thumb. I'm not sure. There hasn't really been much of an update on that, but the match was very good. Obviously, Judgment Day retains because the end game is for them to take the titles to WrestleMania, which they will, I believe. And it's been a fun run for them, but like I've said, it's getting stale, and I feel like most of us are getting very bored of it. So I think WrestleMania Night 1 or Night 2, they drop the titles. Not sure to who. There are a lot of talented tag teams in the division as of right now, but, it's going to be one of them, and whoever it is, they're going to have a fun and deserving run. So the next thing we had was the Grayson Waller effect. Grayson Waller coming back home to Australia, where people actually like him. He was there with Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, and Austin Theory was there, obviously. But Austin Theory, it was a little bit of a foreshadowing of face turn for him, as Grayson Waller kind of just left him there to get attacked by Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins after, and then after that, obviously, Grayson received his beating like always, but Theory, this is the cue for him to turn face, and it's a big thing because ever really since he lost the U.S. title, and even before that, Theory's just been kind of stale, or very stale, should I say. He hasn't really made any change to his character. He hasn't won many matches. And he's kind of just been with Grayson Waller, which, it's been fun because Grayson Waller is just, so good at what he does. But Theory needs this face turn more than anybody, and it's going to completely revitalize him. Also, coming from the Grayson Waller effect, Seth Rollins is almost cleared, so he will confirm to be back at WrestleMania. And this is great news for the amount of injuries and things that we've had happen to alter the WrestleMania card, and even the Elimination Chamber card. This is just such a good thing for us to hear, especially with Seth Rollins. He's such a talented wrestler, probably one of the best in the business, the workhorse of the company. And him coming back for the biggest show of the year, being able to face off against Drew McIntyre, which we'll get into in a minute. It's a big thing for him. It's a big thing for the title he holds, and it's a big thing for us as the fans. Moving on to the Men's Elimination Chamber to see who would face Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. We had a couple things go on. We had, Logan Paul drawing on the chamber. We had Logan Paul get speared into the chamber by Bobby Lashley. We had LA Knight versus AJ Styles basically get confirmed for WrestleMania, because that's probably the plan for him. That's probably his end game, which would probably make it a ladder match at WrestleMania for the U.S. title. But we still have a long build-up, so there's no need to worry about that. But Drew McIntyre does defeat all 5 other men in the cage, or in the chamber, and becomes the man who will face Seth Rollins at WrestleMania for their 3rd match. They had won at Crown Jewel. They had won at Day 1 Monday Night Raw. It's going to be their 3rd match, and I think Drew wins it, and I think he takes home the title. It's been too long. Drew's character is too good for this, and he takes the title. He brings it to SummerSlam, and then CM Punk will beat him at SummerSlam when he returns. I think that's the plan for the World Heavyweight Championship in the future. And for our main event of Elimination Chamber, we had obviously Rhea Ripley coming back home, and obviously the best woman in the division, who's Rhea Ripley, against Nia Jax, which build-up was good. The match was kind of weak. It was fun to see Rhea win in her home country, but I think the match could have been a lot better. I don't think there were any good spots relatively in the match that could have caught the viewer's eye. And I think they could have done a lot better with the match overall. But, I mean, we're in the end game now. Rhea's going to face Becky. We know that match is going to be great. And we really don't know what's going to go on for Nia Jax. I'm sure it'll be good, her next match, if she has one at WrestleMania. But, you know, this match is kind of boring for what it was. But it was good, as it shouldn't have been the main event. But it was good for what it was, seeing Ripley win in her home country. Now, moving on to our one topic of the day for AEW, we're going to preview Sting's final match at AEW Revolution, as he and Darby Allin take on the Young Bucks, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. It's tough. It's a toss-up who's going to win here. Generally, I think AEW will make the wrong decision and have the Young Bucks win, and hand Sting his first loss in AEW. You know, he's been protected for so long now, and I think this is where they kind of try and build up the Young Bucks again. I mean, their characters are great, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think Sting goes out with a loss. I don't think he should go out with a loss. I don't think he deserves to go out with a loss after the career that he's had in wrestling in general. And I think they're going to do the wrong thing here. I really hope they do the right thing and have Sting and Darby win, and then eventually relinquish the title, like on the Dynamite after Revolution, because that would be the honorable way to do it. But generally, I think they're going to have the Young Bucks win this match and take the tag team titles off of Darby and Sting. And to TNA, Mustafa Ali, debut in TNA, wins the X Division title against Chris Sabin. You know, this was an awesome match. It was awesome to see Mustafa Ali back out there in a wrestling ring, televised. And for his first match to be a huge win against Chris Sabin, you know, it was unexpected but expected at the same time, because obviously Mustafa Ali, a big name on the market, who got picked up by TNA. But in someone's first match, you really don't expect them to win a title. But, you know, they pulled the trigger on him. They had him win the title. So I think it was a really great match. I think Mustafa deserved it. And, you know, Mustafa has a title around his waist now, so didn't really see that in WWE. It's good to see it now in TNA. Sadly, that'll be all for this week, but we're officially on the road to WrestleMania. Well, we've been on the road to WrestleMania, but we are nearing the end of the road. It's going to be a fun build-up. Don't worry, those. We'll be back with the newest wrestling news from WWE, AEW, and TNA. As always, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next week on Chairshot Wrestling.